are in the home stretch. That's right, everybody. We are under a month away from the NASCAR Pinty Series opener at Sunset Speedway. We've got some really cool stuff to talk about this week on the show. Episode 42 of the Power Hour here on GeForce TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am your wingman, Ken K. We are back here ready to go. And there's lots of stuff to talk about. Even though it's still quiet on the news front, we still don't have a ton of news coming out yet about drivers, race events, the series. Still a lot of stuff I'm pretty sure that is under wraps. Also stuff that's being worked on. We know that the team will take it right to the start of the season, but I just want to start us off with taking a quick look at some of the news from the NASCAR Pinty Series community page on Facebook. If you haven't already, join us. We are 6.7 thousand members strong, so 6,700 fans. We can get to 10,000 by the end of the season. That is for sure. 10,000 strong would be excellent if we can get to that point. So it would be really nice to get going here and be really excited towards how this past weekend went. Sadly, however, it didn't go as well as we were hoping. Talladega Superspeedway is what it is. It is something that I think a lot of us... you know what? Some people are really into it. I think my stance on plate racing has really changed over the past couple of years, and with it's kind of brought it down. Really, because it seems that it's been all about wrecking, and we don't need that. We really don't, and unfortunately, it was a tough day for both of our drivers. Not the worst finish for Jason, but unfortunately for Dexter, he had a pretty rough day. And we'll take a look at both of those guys and their races at Talladega Superspeedway. Love to hear from you guys whether you'd like to see some of our current talents, like Dexter, join him in running potentially in the Truck Series or the Xfinity Series, going down to race ARCA. We've seen in the past names like DJ Kennington, Pete Shepard, Rafael Lessard have all been part of that. J.R. Fitzpatrick went down there. Obviously, Jason's been in there. I think J.R. might have had the best finish of all those names. Aside from Rafael Lessard, who did actually win, J.R. Fitzpatrick finished fourth at Daytona. The non-plate races, though, I'd like to see some what we could do there. JP Bergeron has also raced in ARCA. Donald Teague has raced Xfinity Series for many years. So lots of names have gone down there. Hopefully we get some of the younger names heading down there, like Kyle Steckley, Trayton Lapsevich. Definitely would be fun to see. Let's take a quick look at our NASCAR Pinty Series community page, and let's take a quick look at some of the news that came out. Well, first off, I was looking for some video for tonight, and this young guy popped up on the screen there. How about a very young Dexter Stacy? Didn't even recognize him without the beard. So funny to see Dexter. I didn't even remember what he looked like without a beard. But this is a big one here. How about this man right here? Tony Spiteri celebrates birthday today, NASCAR GM. So definitely our best wishes out to Tony. He's probably really busy right now, not just thinking about the birthday side of things, but everything that's going on with Freshstone, which we'll touch on tonight. And then as well, the NASCAR Pinty Series gearing up in 3 weeks. That's a lot that they still have to go through and get approvals and get stuff done and sorted out for the season. So definitely lots of stuff going on right now. But for Tony Spiteri, want to wish him the very best on his birthday. Obviously, things are busy here in the Cam K Central right now. Lots of racing stuff coming up. Busy with announcements and other divisions, posting news on other divisions as well. So just bear in mind there probably will be some pop-ups of chats coming up. But happy birthday, Tony! We're very excited and looking forward to seeing a great photo that we got here at Motorama with Tony and the amazing Jim Bray. Who I think we'll see Jim Bray's 98 car back this year. Not confirmed what's happening there. I wouldn't think anything's changing really with Sam Fellows. I would think he's going to be back for however many he can do, and hopefully they'll have some more success this year. So that's congratulations, obviously, to Tony for the birthday. And then we're also going to celebrate because our man Todd Lewis is back once again for the NASCAR Pinty Series, and he is back. Got his credentials taken care of today for NASCAR, and he is going to be at every event once again, covering the series. I've put it out there a couple times. I don't know what the series would be without him. He's one of the names that I remember. I mean, he was doing pit reporting when it was CASCAR. Dave and Adam, I believe, they came in for when NASCAR came in. Not saying that they weren't involved prior to that, but in terms of the broadcast team, Todd still sticks around, and I still remember him way back from my introduction to motorsports. Actually, was with Todd Lewis. He started with the Molson Indy is really what I remember him with, and now getting to see Todd at every event. It's so cool to have a who is going to be a Motorsport Hall of Famer. I mean, he's not in it as of yet, but he will be in the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. There is no doubt in my mind that he has a place in there 100%. Of course, you can catch Todd and NASCAR Pinty Series own social media manager Caitlin Patrick. Of course, they host Racing It Out, which is a motorsports podcast where they talk all about the inner workings of the series, along with some of their own topics and their opinions on certain racing ideas and concepts. They've talked about several different things, but also they talk about their favorite places to eat while they're at the racetrack. So definitely make sure to check that podcast out. Really, really solid. Good. It's on YouTube and on all your podcast platforms. But Todd Lewis is going to be back this year, so happy to see our national pit reporter back once again. I love this comment here by Terry Rose. It says NASCAR Pinty Series is growing bigger and better every year. This year should be the best ever. It'll be a little bit different, I think, in some capacities because we are seeing a new regime up front. So I expect that we're going to see some sort of changes implemented. What they are yet, not really sure. Probably still some technical stuff and personnel changes to announce. But the series is definitely making some moves. I was checking out the website today. Website's still what it was, but Racing Reference has updated a lot of the photos of all the drivers, so I assume that that's going to be transferred over to the main site really soon. So things are getting up there. They're looking really nice, really good. Let's just hope that the weather doesn't ruin our first weekend at Sunset Speedway. It is always a little bit worrisome when we head out there, but if you're interested, of course, we've got some really cool videos we posted here that found on YouTube. Closest top 10 finishes for the NASCAR Pinty Series. This dates from 2007 to 2018. So primarily the Canadian Tire Series video here, but lots of great stuff in here. If you haven't already, check it out. So it's definitely cool. We'll get to Dexter Stacy's stuff. We'll get to Jason White's stuff because there was some of it. Now we also have an addition to the page. Daniel Bois has been added to the NASCAR.ca page. He's got his bio up. Got some really nice pictures here at White Motorsports with them building speed. Look at them working on these race cars. Awesome folks there at White Motorsports. Repping them right here with White WMI race cars here right now. So interesting nod right there. You see, take a look. They got their Paille shirt being worked on right there. So they're definitely building speed at White Motorsports. We're definitely very curious to see who they're building these cars for. And then we did get a bit of a driver announcement this week. JF 77 Racing has been announced. Sylvain Toussaint went and announced that JF 77 Racing, which is also Jocelyn Facteau, is back for sure this year, and they are going to start at the we call it May 2-4, even though it's not technically a 2-4 weekend anymore, but Victoria Day weekend, the Speed Fest at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. The 77 car will return to the NASCAR Pinty Series, so congratulations, Jocelyn. I know he's been trying to get back to the series for many years, so good on him. Be glad to see him out there, and we got some pretty cool videos out here. This is one out here that we got from NASCAR that was posted back from 1995, and our returning Todd Lewis and a young gun. He had just won the championship in 1994, Mark Dilley. Look at that in the Sega colors. Gotta love it. Absolutely love this. So I think that's going to wrap it up a bit on the news there. Of course, there's post some videos from Racetime Radio, interviews taking place, Marc-Antoine Cameron out at Robert Yates Racing. So lots of stuff out there. Now we're going to get to some of this other stuff later. I don't know why this is popping up. That's from 2021. Oh, I guess somebody was looking through all throughout the mounds of stuff here. Take a quick look at the roster. No real change so far right now from what we've seen. Jocelyn Facteau, of course, been added. Trevor Monahan, we know, is going to be there. Brandon McFarland. So all these names kind of we expected. I'm still waiting to hear on some of these other names, but absolutely no way in hell, Jim, am I going to have a mullet. This honestly, this length of hair is probably as long as it can get for me in the summertime. I'm a big man, and when it gets hot, I can't have too much. It just not a good combination. I do want to point something out here. No matter how good we think some of our drivers are here in the series, and they're fantastic. One of the things that has been very evident over the past couple of years, not just in our series, but racing alike, is that there is a really hard battle here within motorsports, and that's to find partnerships that are able to get drivers to participate in the full season. And no matter who it is, there seems to be inabilities to find season-long partners or partners that will return year in and year out. And I'm not talking 2 years, 3 years. No. I'm talking like 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, as long as like 10 years. We've got some really great partners that have come into the series that have helped drivers out. Obviously, you're going to look at Castrol Edge, WeatherTech, obviously here with LP Dumoulin. But there's been a lot of partners coming in and out of motorsports. And one of the guys that I think we would all consider to be set for life based on his talent, he is still looking for partnerships this year. I was actually on LinkedIn, and I did clear this with him just to make sure that it is okay. But Trayton Lapsevich, a lot of people have been asking where his confirmation has been. Well, that's the situation right now. They aren't confirmed yet. One of the things that is very evident in this day and age is that you've got talent, but partnerships are really hard to come by. And while you'll see some partnerships on a car, you don't know what the full extent is. And so right now they do have an open spot, it would appear, here on the number 20 car. I'm not 100% sure. This might not even be their look for this year. This could just be a promotional tool that they're using. But they've got open spots on the bumper. They've got open spots like on the associate panel. And that's one of the biggest key parts, is that it is really expensive to race in the NASCAR Pinty Series. So whatever help that we can get to get his name out there, building partnerships is what this show is hopefully going to be here for, bringing more interest to it. And if we can get some more names out there, a talent like Caden Lapsevich is hard to not have in this series, and I don't want it to be that we lose out on his younger brother Trayton as well. Trayton is definitely worth having him in the series. Lots of talent there. but I think it's about spreading the word. So if we can get the word out, hey, there is a team that is still looking for partnerships for 2023. Let's take a quick look and see as to what he's talking about. He says, calling all businesses, it is your chance to be part of Canada's top NASCAR series. There are so many ways we can push your brand, whether it's being exposed to thousands of race fans, that's for true, impressions through social media, on-site activation, hospitality at a track, great chance to reward key employees or partners, or exposure to hundreds of thousands of fans through the TSN broadcast. And that is reality. One of the things that we talked with Joel Robinson from TSN, from Fuel Media Lab, is the broadcast that they put on there. The numbers are actually quite staggering. It is hundreds of thousands of views that they are getting for the NASCAR Pinty Series broadcast. And you think that's actually relatively small for the amount of people that do not have cable anymore. So the fact that they are getting that much showcases that there is a lot of interest in the series. So the more and more that partners come in, the more and more benefits actually everybody will have in the end. So they have a lot of variety of different packages available, ranging from single race deals, which is something that race teams should be thinking about, bundles, and full season. Single race is a good idea. Sure, there might be a little bit more wear and tear on having to redo wraps or remove graphics or add graphics. But at the end of the day, if you are getting a partner for a race specific to the location, that is something that is really beneficial. So definitely, hopefully people will look out. You see that there are still partners on this car, which is great news that he does have some partners. They are looking for more, though, and they wouldn't be asking unless it was critical to their season. So I don't know what the status is, 100% sure how much it has been filled, but reach out, share, send them a personal message to connect. And for more information, they have a marketing deck that they could provide. Marketing deck will give you a whole bunch of price points, interest, give you a little bit more background information, more likely on Trayton and the team, and what can come out of it. So definitely you want a young kid who's extremely talented, has a bright future. He is currently in the school of business and has a bright future. So definitely check him out. Very well-spoken, well-read, and definitely would be somebody that can promote a business very well. Not just being on front, but by doing all of those things that he mentioned about social media activation, on-site activation, and hospitality. So I know I've seen them do it before. I believe it was Quick and RGC Sports in the past. So what does seem, if this is the car that they are going to use this year, there is some new partnerships on this car, which is exciting. And then there's a bigger return, which is the Delta Bingo and Gaming, and a bigger presence, which is awesome to see. So congratulations there if those partnerships are sticking out. But definitely, guys, we can do it. We can get out there and support Trayton Lapcevich to get that number 20 car back on the track for the full season. Again, we haven't seen any confirmation yet as to what the schedule is looking like, but definitely let's get out there and support. Share it as well. Share it. That's the one thing, is people look at this and go, there's no way I'd be able to afford helping out a race team. But you have no idea. If you have a small business, if you have a medium-sized business, if you have a large business, reaching out is the best thing to do, because you don't know what deals can be made. One thing that I will say about racing fans is they are 100% committed to helping out any sort of partner that is on board their race cars of their favorite drivers, even if it's just of the series. There's definitely a lot of interest from fans to support those companies. I'll just say about my good buddy Graydon Bunn, only uses his castor oil because of DJ. I've started recently switching from Jane's to Pinty's because Pinty's is now available for me. So definitely get out there and support those companies and support all those brands that are part of this series. And I think having names like Trayton Lapcevich, Kyle Steckley, Brandon Watson, young names like that, potentially other names like Ray Morneau Jr., Jake Sheridan, definitely a lot of people. There's a lot to do. As mentioned to me by a driver that does it right, he mentions that after every race, he calls each partner with race results. Tries to drop by and visit as much as possible. There was Gary Elliott who talked to us on the Stickers and Scuffs podcast who talked about that. Now, Gary Elliott has had a 55-year partnership with Quaker State. I believe it's 55, as long as he's been racing. Let me just look back on his 50 years of partnership with, and he's been racing for 55 years. You don't get that for no reason. 50 years partnership with Quaker State. It's the longest running sponsorship in all of motorsports, if I'm not mistaken. 50 years. Now, that doesn't get talked about a ton, as it really does deserve a lot of attention. But that's what we want to see. Drivers and teams do need to get better at the social media game. They do need to get better at a lot of that side of things, but they're learning and they're taking the time to learn. So definitely, guys, get out there, support the number 20 of Trayton Lapsovich. We'll see if we can get a partner out there, even in the United States. That's the one thing that, Jim, I'll point out to you, is that businesses in the United States can also work. If they have a Canadian division, that's definitely something else that we can look at. You've met Kyle Steckley, with the type of people that 22 Racing has as a part of their team. So definitely, guys, get out there, support. Now, we are going to take a quick look at this past weekend. It was pretty tough, unfortunately. Our good buddy Jason White almost pulled off a race victory at Daytona earlier this year and had the lead in the final restart, had it to turn 3, and nobody went with him, and he finished 9th or 10th. Doesn't matter. This time around, Jason White finished 10th, but really was in the fight once again, running in 6th place on the final lap and final restart, and nobody went with him again, and he fell back to 10th, and they just never had a shot to get back. The ARCA race gives me a lot of emotions, especially when the finish was like it was this past week. You can't expect to win if you just run single file and you don't push. The Venturini Motorsports team is dominant. And at the end of the day, they've got a lot of work there that they've put in. But everybody else cannot expect to win if you don't attempt to pass. So poor Jason White was out there. He battled. He tried his hardest. And just nobody went with him. And you really need that in order to succeed. So let's take a quick look. Hopefully the sound will work. Hopefully I don't catch him swearing here, because he's known to do that on his live videos here. But let's take a quick look here at what Jason White had to say after his race at Talladega.
I got shuffled at the end and I finished 10th, which is definitely not what we wanted and definitely not acceptable. So it's the competitive side's coming out now, and we ran up there in the top 5 again, which we showed that we definitely belong there. So 2 races in a row, we showed we can be in the hunt. Just that we didn't need that last restart. We were in a row with some pretty amazing cars, the Venturini cars, the Gibbs cars, and Sean Core and Brett Holmes, who I talked to before the race. We worked together, and yeah, the cars didn't fall in our direction, so I'm just pretty dejected. The car doesn't have a mark on it. That's pretty awesome. Jeff McClure just told me that's my seat, so someone's gonna have to fight me for it next time. I can't wait to get back into it again at Daytona next year, but yeah, just had flashes of greatness. I made a mistake at the first 6 laps. I went to the outside too soon, and they shuffled me fast. They're doing what they can to get rid of me as soon as they can. I think they know the car's pretty fast now, so I made a mistake there. Luckily, we did a short pit stop and stayed out on the competition caution. Got back up into the top 5 and raced there for quite a while. So, anyways, like I said, we showed that we belong there. Definitely not impressed with myself for a top 10. I wanted the first place, and that from now on, there's not going to be anything acceptable other than first place. So we just got to go out there and just keep working hard. And now that there's no mark on this car, Jeff can just keep working on it and getting it tighten it up. Just make sure that everything is just perfect. And I mean, it's pretty good now, but now he has an opportunity to really work on it. So, anyways, thanks everybody. I'll chat with you guys soon. And thanks everybody for following from Talladega. Checking out.
it's hard not to be bummed for Jason. I mean, he's put in a lot of time, a lot of money to put this whole thing together. And to see NASCAR Pinty Series drivers be able to go down there and run competitively, and it's not, I'm not making a slight here at Jason or Dexter Stacy for that matter, but they aren't guys that were running in the top 5, top 3, top 2 in the NASCAR Pinty Series, and they're going down there and being competitive. It makes me wonder. We've seen Tag do it many a time, go down there and run competitively. We've seen, like I said, J.R. Fitzpatrick. You've seen other guys that came in, DJ Kennington. And it makes you wonder. Andrew Ranger obviously finished third in Montreal. It makes you wonder, and in my opinion, actually, it makes me a little bit upset that we haven't gotten great opportunities for NASCAR Pinty Series drivers to be in the Xfinity, the Cup Series, the Truck Series on a regular basis with a regular partner in the top equipment. Now, we've had Rafael Lessard. Very true. But how quickly that goes away. And unfortunately, it wasn't just Jason that was at Talladega. Amber Balkin, who is a Canadian race car driver as well for Venturini, she broke early in the race. Tony Breidinger, who's not a Canadian driver, or NASCAR Pinty Series driver, but her crew chief, Caden Lapsevich, they didn't have the best race for Venturini. The other two Venturini cars were light years ahead of them in the race, and it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, Caden definitely is talented enough, and part of me is a little frustrated that those guys don't get an opportunity in the Venturini cars, but maybe. You never know, Rick. Maybe this could start a partnership. I think there's a lot of great talent that could go into the ARCA Menard Series in a top ride like Venturini and do quite well. So there's definitely work. But that opens up a question, and that's whether or not you need a Canadian or somebody that you know of to be in the race. Does it add more excitement? Does it add more interest? Obviously, as Canadians, sure. But if you're already a motorsports fan, does it do anything for you? Because I'll admit, I haven't been the most interested in the top 3 divisions of NASCAR for a couple years now. I'll still watch, but it's not what it was for me. If you can tell by the collection behind me, I'm definitely an early 2000s NASCAR fan. And I'm way more interested now in the Ontario and Canadian racing scene than I am the American scene. But I'll say, for me, if LeBay is not in there, if Dexter's not in there, if Jason's not in there, I really don't have too much of an interest anymore. When DJ was trying to make the 500, that was a huge deal. It meant something. And Stuart Friesen, yeah, but Stuart Friesen, I don't consider, to me, it's like not a Pinty's guy. That's a little bit different, right? Where I'm looking for the guys that came from, say, the Pinty Series or NASCAR that went down there and attempted to race. It's like seeing the Snowball Derby and seeing Trayton Lapsevich run in the Snowflake, or Alex Gannett run down there, JP Bergeron in the ACT Tour. It definitely does. And it was brought up on Twitter that one of the users named Phil Spain, and he said, it's nice seeing a Canadian come in, and he wishes that there was more Canadian content. And I agree. I think having what we've got now is great. If we could get some more opportunities for guys like Trayton, a ladder system that would work would be great. And the problem is that right now there isn't a system that filters Canadian drivers into the series. I think that they look at the Pinty series as potentially being a ladder system, but I don't think it's really there. The money aspect is way far off from what people need. And there hasn't been really a case of where guys have come up through the Pinty series and raced successfully in the Xfinity series. I guess you could say Alex Labay is, but where is he at right now? I would love it so that the drivers are able to come up through the trucks, Xfinity, and Cup, but where it comes all down to is partnerships. And I think if we aren't building partnerships here, they're not going to be strong enough to propel somebody up into a Cup position. And the other thing is that a lot of the American companies aren't interested in promoting a Canadian driver, is what I've been told. Now, whether that's true, I think marketability is marketability. I look at somebody like James Hinchcliffe. Hinch has made it big. He was on Dancing with the Stars, which is a very well-known, popular show back in it's been a couple years, but he was pole sitter at the Indy 500. He's run well. He's won races. And I've asked him regarding the NASCAR Pinty series, and he's interested, but said he needs funding. And I don't know if that's holding him back right now in IndyCar. If it is, that's a bigger tell right there. He's on a broadcast, a great talker, a great promoter of businesses. He signed a deal with, I believe, Canadian Tire to promote them. But there's no racing aspect of that. It's just a personal deal. And it's like Andrew Ranger with Can-Am. Can-Am's not on the car, but he definitely has partnerships that he could bring and add more flair to him. He's a perfect salesman for all sorts of things. So I'm very curious to see how this works and if it builds. Because the Pinty series right now, I'm not going to say that it needs young talent. It's got young talent here that have made a couple of starts. What it needs is full-time young talent. Brandon Watson is the one of those names. Trayton Lapsevich, I think Kyle Steckley will see there. Those young faces are great, but I think adding some guys out from Atlantic Canada, which is what we're doing this year with Brandon McFarlane, Josh Collins, adding maybe Matthew Shirley or Chantel Kalika as a full-time competitor would be something where it becomes a Canadian-wide series. The problem, again, all comes down to funding. And if we can't get the funding for drivers that are really damn good, like Trayton Lapsevich, then maybe the model has to change. And I think it's a model not with our series. I think it's a racing thing. Because partnerships are not flocking in. That's the reality. There's a lot of things that have to go into a partnership. And I think a move that still continuously isn't brought up enough is that move that Tony Spiteri has talked about. That's bringing the schedule for 2024 months earlier. I'm very curious to see how that goes. I also am curious about the efforts, because a lot of people that have their own race teams, a lot of these guys are not business. They're not people that are experienced in marketing. So it's who can you get to help you, and can you afford somebody to buy, to pay somebody to do marketing stuff for you? And the reality is a lot of people cannot do it because racing is not a full-time sport here. It's quite hard, but at least by the team at NASCAR Canada giving those extra months, you've got a lot more time to put stuff together. I think, again, and we've talked with certain drivers, that you have to talk about 2024 now, a year in advance. Some companies do their budgets that early. So getting out there and doing it, and if you're waiting until January of that year, it's way too late. So there's other big news that's taken place, and I wanted to touch on this. It's been announced already, but let's take a quick look here. before we get to the Dexter Stacy stuff from Talladega as well. Now, obviously this year, you're not looking at one, you're looking at 2 events at Ohsweken Speedway. And when I'm talking about an event, GP3R puts on an event that is top-notch, all-star, fantastic. What Ohsweken is putting together is looking to be amazing. And when we get into the details here in just a second, but the VIP and the ticket packages for the Ohsweken doubleheaders for the Pinty Series and the entire week, they're on sale now. Okay. Now the super tickets for the big events at Ohsweken Speedway, that is going to be available. They're going to be on sale this Saturday. Already, yes, but get your tickets now. Now, there's people at that event last year. Tim would be one of those guys. I think Tim was there. Yeah, you were there, Tim. You took that wicked photo. This event is going to be even bigger this year because now you've got 2 races. You've got tons of competition. You got names that we haven't announced any really so far. Michael Gowdy, Ken Schrader, Aaron Turkey. I would think Stuart Friesen comes out. Maybe Christopher Bell. Maybe Kyle Larson. Just shooting it out there. But let's take a quick look at some of these notices that we've got to take a quick glance at. So the VIP packages are available. You got 2 nights of NASCAR Pinty Series dirt action. Now, one of the things we want to talk about here, Freshstone Racing coming into racing hot. Freshstone, if you don't know, Tony Spiteri, part of that, also was part of NASCAR GM. Let's take a quick look there. August 14th is the Freshstone Dirt Classic. Love the name. Love the look. Freshstone's got a beautiful logo. Next day, the Pinty's 100. So you got Monday and Tuesday. You've got which is, I think, the understated moment here, which is what Wes just talked about. $25K both nights. Total purse of $50K. Now, if you win both races, that's a solid payday. Solid. Freshstone Dirt Classic featuring $25K to win for the NASCAR Pinty Series, plus the Sit and Bull Tire Shootout for the 360 sprint cars and the Action Sprint Tour. Racing starts at 7:30 p.m. Hospitality opens at 5 p.m. Yes, hospitality. Monday VIP package price is only $95. That's insane. $95 for all that stuff? Fantastic. Now you add on the Pinty's 100. Tuesday VIP package price is also $95. You're getting all of that for 2 days worth. Now, each package is reserved, and listen to what it comes with. Reserved seats, pit access, a pre-race dinner, drinks, entertainment, and a live band. Now, there's information at the bottom of the screen here. Call 905-741-2631 or email Lori_Gregory at rocketmail.com. Of course, get your tickets now. This is not a slouch. We saw how the race finished last year with Stuart Friesen and Trayton Lapsovich. Photo of it right above there on the screen right now. Definitely go out there, and you're not going to miss it. But again, one of the things that you have to remember is that it's not Ohsweken Day. Okay? It's Ohsweken Week. So this is the VIP packages right here for 2 nights of the NASCAR Pinty Series dirt action. Let's take a look at the full week here. Look at this. So, Speed Week Super Pass. So, your super ticket. Look at all the racing that you have. Like, 5 nights. You get pit access for all those. You've got advanced reserved camping available for the entire week. Not only that, look at all the racing content that you have here. Now, Monday and Tuesday are your headliners, but you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, $125 for 5 days of racing. Sign me up. $125. That is amazing of a deal. Now, you don't have to attend every single race. You can stay there while you're camping. You can get your super tickets. Of course, like I said, super tickets are available this Saturday. Okay? So make sure you go out there. You fill out your pit waiver. Make sure you do that too before you go, because you want to make sure that you get access to the pits. Okay? That's where the action is. Getting in there. Great photos that were taken last year. They've got a really good setup. one of the things we hear a lot from the Bun Sons is how amazing the Ohsweken Speedway autograph session was. And that was really, really well done. Glenn's made some changes in the offseason at Ohsweken Speedway, and I say Glenn and Clinton have made changes at Ohsweken Speedway, and they haven't even been seen yet. The racing season hasn't even started yet at Ohsweken Speedway, so you know that they've made some significant changes there as well to continue to build and make Ohsweken Speedway the best dirt track in all of Canada. I mean, we're pretty much already there, I think, but amazing stuff. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out. Wes is in the chat. Wes knows all about Ohsweken Speedway, knows everything about G-Force TV. He is the moderator for a reason. He is the super smart guy who knows everything about it. Now, we talk about 25 grand to win. I think we might get a couple more interests coming aboard, because that's what's fun. I definitely would like to see. I don't think it's impossible. I mean, Wes, we talked about this last year. I think 25, 26 cars is reasonable. I don't think we're get to the 30 car mark. I think that's just a little too much. However, there might be extra cars available this year. I wouldn't put it past, even though White Motorsports has said they're only going to do 2 this year, I wouldn't put it past White Motorsports to have a couple in the tank for rentals. DJK is likely going to have some rentals. I don't know about LP, but we know Kenny Strader's going to be there. I think definitely EHR is going to have a rental car there. There's no way that they wouldn't have one. And I think Jake Hooker is probably a guy that we're going to go out and see this year. I think I'd love to see Jake Sheridan back. I don't know whether that's an option. Matt Williamson, I'm still putting that name out there. Would be awesome to see. We already know Aaron Turkey's out there. Dave Bailey is back as well. So the talent is there. Maybe the Turners come out. That would be fun too, actually see them come out there. DJ Christie, I'm just going to put DJ out there because I think DJ is a great kid. Could do really, really, really good stuff in the NASCAR Pinty Series. But we know that there's a lot of names that are interested, not just in the NASCAR Pinty Series, but the dirt world, and not just in Canada. So hopefully we'll get some opportunities to see what they do. But whether or not it's all going to be broadcast on G-Force TV, I'm not 100% sure, Wes, if they've announced, or Clinton if he's in the chat, if they've announced if the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is going to be on G-Force TV. I don't also see here there's no announcement regarding the Fast Lap Challenge. Not sure if that's back this year, so we'll have to check into that. But 100%, $125. Like, you think about the tickets that you could pay, and what you get for them. This is a super ticket for sure. So definitely make sure you go out there. It's where the excitement's at. If you aren't sure, definitely reach out to Ohsweken Speedway on social media. They can definitely answer your questions, help you out. Clinton's also G-Force TV. They'll be continue talking about it all week long. But again, your VIP tickets, again, we're going to go just back one frame here. Your VIP tickets here, okay? So trying to do this correct here. So your VIP tickets, those are available now. It's your super tickets available Saturday. So go out there, get what you need to talk about, because there's a lot of good stuff there. So, no idea. It was for sure nice seeing the heats in practice on G-Force TV last year. I would hope that we get to see those back this year. I love seeing practices and qualifying and time trials and stuff. Heats would also be something. But definitely we know, like, the Action Sprint Tour 360s, they will be on G-Force. It's just a matter of what else will be part of it, and whether there is going to be a Fast Lap Challenge this year. That's the other interesting part of it. As of right now, I'm not able to make either of these races 2 years in a row. So unfortunately, like right now, I'm tentative. But for sure, Wes will be there. You'll find some other great people at the event. You don't need us there to go and enjoy it. Definitely get out there, buy your tickets. And if not, of course, Tim Gerald can always take us amazing photos at the track as well. always shows us what we missed. But definitely exciting stuff. So I want to thank Clinton for passing that along to me. And we're going to wrap this episode up by talking about Dexter Stacey. Yeah, maybe a few, Tim. Yeah, no, yeah, I have to stop from staying up all night looking at photos that you've taken. But we're going to take a quick look at Dexter, and man, this hurt in more ways than one. If you didn't know, Dexter Stacey did qualify for the Xfinity Series race. He didn't make Daytona, but he missed Daytona by one position, and he lost it to a car that didn't even take time. Jesse Iwuji's car, they had more owner points, but they didn't take a lap, and they made the race, and Dexter went home. I'm still not going to forgive NASCAR for that. But what I will say is Dexter, 100%, NBM Motorsports put their best effort into that car, and he qualified 22nd. I think it's his best career start in the Xfinity Series, and his first start since 2016. So a long ways that it's been for Dexter Stacey. However, while running in 17th place, coming off of turn 2, it's now been pointed out. So don't bear in mind what he says in the interview and what he says and what they say on the broadcast. He did confirm a tire went down, a right rear tire went down, and that led to him losing it and spinning. So let's take a quick look at Dexter Stacey's incredibly hard hit, unfortunately, at Talladega Superspeedway.
Wait a minute. If you're racing here, you should just go by Junior, and there's trouble again. 3 on the stage. My goodness. And a major hit for Dexter Stacey. Blaine Perkins with huge damage.
He hit the end of the wall, Joey.
Great when it kicks out like that. Oh, my. Debris everywhere. Third caution of the day at Talladega has turned into a red flag. It's Blaine Perkins climbing from the O2. AMR safety team was right there to be by his side, and they needed to respond quickly because his crash was spectacular.
So Blaine had been involved in a flip, and so here Dexter, you can see him lose it. It does look a little soft. Do I know whether it was legitimately flat? I don't, but that is what Dexter said. They panned over later and mentioned that this wreck happened. That hit for actually both of these guys, these hits were absolutely nuts. I don't think I've seen a flip like this in a long time. I don't remember seeing the distance like that that we've seen ever before. Like, he went a long way in this flip. Now, Dexter was doing a service. He had the... we're going to take a quick look here. We're just going to get past the flip here for a second. And we're going to take another look, and you see Dexter get loose right there. He gets barely up. And once it's gone away, it's gone away. Now, tough deal. You see Fast Eddie's actually on this car right here. Fast Eddie is actually on there. Bully's Truck Stop is on there. Recap Recovery is on there. But a really hard hit. He had actually got Buffalo Wild Wings on the hood of the car as a favor to Jason, the other Jason White, American Jason White, who did not actually qualify in the other car. So tough deal. Dexter was okay. But let's hear what he had to say when he got out from the medical care center, speaking with Front Stretch about what happened. That was a hit for a guy in the Pinty series. We don't normally crash cars like that, so it was a tough deal. Let's hear what Dexter had to say, courtesy of Front Stretch. So, not the hardest day he's ever had. It looked pretty hard, but Dexter does say that pretty tough hit. That sucks, for sure. Live broadcasts on GeForce TV. You got to ask the guys tomorrow on Race Rivals Race Chat. I'm only here for the show, my friend. Al, I appreciate it though. Should be soon. We're almost over, man. It's almost the off season is finally coming to an end. This past weekend, they were doing some practice times in Ontario. Sunset Speedway was open. Flamborough got washed out. Delaware got washed out. They're supposed to go back to Delaware this weekend for practice across the board. And so we'll see if anybody's out there racing this weekend. As for the dirt tracks, I'm not sure when the broadcasts start, but it'll be soon for sure. Oh, and by the way, are you guys considering partnering up with tracks in the U.S. near the Canadian border? Pinty Series, probably not. They did that with New Hampshire. I would actually, you know what? I don't know. I would like to see Watkins Glen or something. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if that's something they'd ever consider. Even short tracks across the border, I'm not sure either. But in terms of other series, I can say that the Ontario Great Lakes Legends are going to be running. The Legend Series is going to be running in the United States. At what track, I could not tell you. I could not remember what it is. Let's see if I can remember. They had announced it. We had spoken to them before. We'll just look it up right now. So the Great Lakes Legends Series is going to be partnering with, I believe, with an American track. Let's see their schedule for this year. Oh, yes. So, Great Lakes Legend Series is going to Flat Rock Speedway in Carlton, Michigan. And that is going to be just the one race this year. They're going to go down and do that on Saturday, June 3rd at Carlton, Michigan's Flat Rock Speedway. That's the Ontario Legends Series. Right now, that's the only series that I believe that is going to do that. Obviously, the ACT Series, which runs back and forth. That's another one. But, yeah, I don't believe there's going to be any changes to that effect as of right now. But there you go. June 3rd, Ontario Legend Series. A great series, too, actually, Owl. We've got some good buddies that run in that series. Kenny McNichol, Jennifer Hatch. They're part of that series. They've had some guest drivers in the past, so there's possible that they would have some guest drivers out there as well. And yes, GeForce is going to be available on for every APC event this year, and I believe it's every Oshweekend Speedway event. Also, GeForce Lite will have broadcasts. As for what tracks, right now, not 100% sure what events. There could be some extra ones. Personally, a series that I'm working with, and hopefully we're going to try to get some GeForce Lite programming. I think it's a great program to have opportunities, even if it's not live. Getting broadcasting out there is so important to racing series. We've seen it for Delaware Speedway on Rogers TV London. If you don't know all of their stuff, Great Lakes Legends will not be broadcast on GeForce TV. They're their own series, but you were asking if there's a series that's going to be going to US. I don't believe that they are. But you were asking. That's all I could provide you. GeForce TV right now is going to be providing you weekly shows, Race Rivals, Race Chat, NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, Oshweekend Speedway, and the APC Series with accompanying divisions, whatever is joining them at the races this year. So definitely make sure you guys check those out. Again, episode 42 here for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. We're close, guys. There's only next week will be our episode 43, and we're getting close to the start of the NASCAR Pinty Series season. More news obviously should be coming out within the next couple of weeks. Like, we know right when it comes to the beginning of the season, lots of things get crazy, lots of fun, and definitely lots of stuff to talk about. But if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We've got 14,000 subscribers here on GeForce TV, of course. Hope to add to that each and every broadcast. Race Rivals Race Chat, which runs tomorrow, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, with Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey. Of course, a lot more details across lots of stuff regarding the racing season, and of course a live broadcast, other bonuses that you are able to rewatch live broadcasts that took place dating back since the channel's inception. They were posting even some throwback races from Oshweekend Speedway, so definitely check it out, because we've got lots of stuff week in and week out here on the channel. And like I said, if we can get some more programming on GeForce like this year, there'll be lots of extra stuff. But definitely go out there, support. If you can't already, you haven't already, thumbs up. It really helps us out. We appreciate, we got a bigger audience tonight, which is great. It means we're getting ready for racing, and lots of exciting stuff happening this year. But I've got some other racing stuff that I've got to go tend to right now. So I just want to thank each and every one of you once again for tuning in. If you haven't already, again, subscribe. Also, Stickers and Scuffs, my podcast with Greg and Bun. We cover Ontario motorsports, Canadian motorsports, do occasional American stuff, but right now it is mostly focused on Ontario racing. We're revving up for the 2023 season. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in tonight on GeForce TV. We will catch you all next week here on the NPS Power Hour.